Good afternoon, Norman. Thanks for joining us.
Coming up, the OU Department of Public Safety tries something new to keep students safe.
And the second part in a three-part series on euthanasia.
It's going to be in the low 70s today. I'll give the entire forecast during the weather.
And the Oklahoma baseball team played 2 against Missouri. Details are in sports.
News, weather, and sports.
All headed your way right now on Norman Today. Welcome to Norman Today. I'm Valerie Perrin.
And I'm Zane Watson. Police officials hope that a new concept in crime prevention can help ease students' fears about crime on campus. Norman Today's Julie Prince asked how the plan will benefit OU.
The University of Oklahoma Department of Public Safety plans to start a concept called community policing at OU. Community policing emphasizes the cooperation of residents and the police department in crime prevention.
In a lot of ways, what community policing is, they have a name and a face that they can associate with the police department. They have a problem.
The Department of Public Safety wants to educate students, staff, and faculty how to use community policing to prevent crime.
Even minor things, my next door neighbor's got a loud stereo, how do I handle it? He can kind of function as an intermediary to help resolve problems before they get so big that we're getting calls and people are filing formal complaints and criminal charges.
Most students at the University of Oklahoma say that crime is not a serious problem, but they're still afraid of becoming a victim.
Personally, I won't go to the library at night because I won't have to walk home by myself, and that's really a pain because that's the primary place for me to study, and I really don't feel safe walking back by myself.
Most thing that I'm really afraid of is either getting mugged, someone stealing my car, or getting raped.
And viewed in our total crime picture, crimes against persons that are the serious crimes, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, homicide, those numbers are very, very small in comparison to say property crimes.
Police officials say that students are more likely to protect themselves against violent crime than lesser offenses like property crime.
Most of the time, I've always got a hold of my purse tightly, and I'm always walking fast. So
Actually, try to just have somebody with me and think about getting pepper spray.
And just keep to myself. I don't. If somebody looks like they're gonna suspicious, I try and stay away and walk fast.
Police officials hope that community policing will ease student fears about violent crime. Julie Prince, Norman Today.
Police officials say that if community policing is going to work, its success depends on the students. University of Oklahoma football players Reggie Skinner and Stephen Williams are under investigation after a small amount of marijuana and some unidentified pills were found in their apartment. The discovery was made by Norman undercover officers. Lieutenant Dean Vasilauskas said officers recovered a ring that had been reported missing from the OU Athletic Department. Officers recommended that misdemeanor charges of possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of a controlled dangerous substance be filed against the players.
Norman's 2 high schools will keep their open campus policy during lunches for the next school year. This decision was handed down from members of the Norman Board of Education. The lunchtime dilemma was first called to the attention of Norman Public Schools last summer. Board members agree that the academic needs and safety of students must be the focus of the lunch issue dilemma. The majority of parents are concerned over how students look standing around smoking. Norman Public Schools parents interested in having their children transfer to Lincoln Elementary School this fall must have their transfer forms in by May 1st. Norman Public Schools distributed a survey to determine interest in the transfers earlier this month. 43 parents from 11 schools responded to the survey. To remain a viable school, Lincoln needs an additional 50 students next year. The school currently has around 200 students.
Choosing euthanasia can be difficult for friends and family to accept. Norman Today's Faith Johnson says there are legal issues that can ease the problems in Part 2 of The Right to Die.
The debate over euthanasia might not have come to the forefront if it were not for suicide doctor Jack Kevorkian.
I disagree with what he stands for and the way he's doing it, because he is assisting in suicides or giving them an apparatus so that they can push a button and terminate their life.
There are legal ways for people to control what happens if they are in a questionable situation.
The patient should have an advance directive for living will.
All 50 states have advanced directives.
Advance directive allows the person to indicate what they would want should they be diagnosed terminal or persistently unconscious.
Taking advantage of one of these legal measures can help people avoid problems in the future if their life is in question.
Signing living wills, doing this sort of thing, this kind of thing gives our families and friends information about how we do want to end our lives. Unfortunately for most of us, that's not the kind of thing that we have always thought about.
I don't think a living will determines some situations. That's where it gets kind of sticky, but in most of my experiences, it has helped, and so I think it's helpful, but not all physicians might feel that way. So
I got a living will simply because I was concerned about my choices. I didn't want someone else to make the choice for me, and as we all know, you know, it doesn't matter if you're 20 or you're 92. Tomorrow could be your last day.
An advance directive can be a document already put together, or you can make one to suit your individual needs. Faith Johnson, Norman Today.
In part 3 of The Right to Die, Norman Today's Faith Johnson will look at public opinions about euthanasia.
A federal judge set the hearing date on whether Oklahoma City bombing conspirator Terry Nichols should pay restitution to bombing survivors and victims' families. Nichols rejected an offer of leniency in exchange for information about the bombing. McVeigh's lawyer, Michael Tiger, filed a motion arguing against the federal government's $14 million restitution demand. 2 Oklahoma congressmen are asking for another $23 million from next year's budget to help repair buildings damaged in the Oklahoma City bombing. Republican Representatives Ernest Istook and Frank Lucas say more is needed. They are asking for an additional $16 million, and every dollar of the public money would be matched with $2 from private lenders.
President Clinton will appoint 7 Oklahomans to the board of directors for the Oklahoma City National Memorial Trust Foundation. Former State Representative Hannah Atkins, Kerr-McGee Executive Luke R. Corbett, Donald Farrell of Shawnee, who lost a daughter in the bombing, Attorney Robert Johnson, businesswoman Linda Lambert, Fire Chief Gary Mars, and bombing survivor Richard Williams. The trust was established by Congress to develop a memorial that reflects on all the aspects of the April 19, 1995 bombing of the Alfred P. Murrow Federal Building. And right now, David Busch is in our Weather Center, and I think he might have some good news for us.
Well, today, temperatures are going to be in the low 70s. It's going to be beautiful. And for the next several days, temperatures will be going on up into the 80s by the time the weekend arrives. So that sounds really good. So I'll give you the entire forecast when we come back. Don't go away.
When the heavens thunder, when the nation calls, come on, you can make a difference and be a part of it all. If you're able to pay the price, you can. Willing to sacrifice, you can. Adventure, helping, service in the Army National Guard, you can.
Find yourself in the Army National Guard, serving 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year, and you'll find an extra paycheck, money for college, and all the adventure you can handle. It's a great way to serve your country and community. Call 1-800-GO-GUARD.
If you're ready to pass the test, you can. An American at your best, you can. Adventure, helping, service in the Army National Guard. In the Army National Guard, you can.
It's only a little motor oil.
What difference is one drop of paint going to make?
This much fertilizer isn't going to pollute anything.
You're looking at a sea of excuses, created drop by people like you and me. Our waters can be saved if each of us does their part. Drop by drop. If we all do a little, we can do a lot. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Defense Council, the EPA, and the Ad Councils of the U.S. and Japan.
My son, Daku, was riding a motorcycle when he was struck by a car.
I had spoken to him previously about donating his organs, and it made it so much easier for me to make the decision. I knew that this is something that he wanted. I didn't have to feel guilty about making the decision, doing something that he may not have wanted. Every day I tell people, talk it over. You must let people know what you want.
And David Busch joins us now. I hear it's just going to keep getting warmer and warmer.
Yeah, there is a high pressure system to our northwest that will be bringing gentle winds, but there's going to be a lot of sunshine that will be bringing temperatures up during the next several days. So by the time the weekend arrives, temperatures may be in the 80s. So
great.
That sounds really great for this time of year. So let's check it outside and see how the live shot is looking. And it's nice and clear out there, just a few patches of clouds, but that's about it due to the high pressure system. So today, temperatures will be in the low 70s, which is a few degrees below normal, but it's still going to be very pleasant. In the next several days, temperatures will be continuing to rise, so it's going to be great for sunbathing. So the current temperature right now is 62 degrees. It's warming up quite a bit with a relative humidity at only 39%, pretty dry. The pressure is 30.28, and the winds are out of the north at around 10 miles per hour. Well, normal high for this time of year is around 74 degrees. We'll be a couple degrees below that, and our normal low is 51. Yesterday was pretty cool. High only about 68 degrees. It'll be a few degrees warmer today. And last night it got pretty chilly, down to 45 degrees. Record temperatures, a record high, 95 degrees, hot. And the record low is a cold 34 degrees. Well, you can see the high pressure system to our northwest, and this has been responsible for giving us the northerly winds during the past several days. It's been quite cool. And also slowly drift off to the east during the next several days. And as it does so, it'll just allow the sunshine to keep coming on in and bring temperatures up and up during the next several days. Temperatures today will be in the low 70s, and each passing day the degrees are going to be rising. By the time Saturday arrives, we'll be in the 80s. And down in the southwest, hot. In fact, look, even some hundreds down there. That's going to be becoming a more common occurrence as the weeks wear on. Over by us, temperatures in the 70s. Well, for the state, pretty uniform today due to the gentle winds, mainly in the 70s and the low 70s. Up near Enid and in Ponca City, temperatures right around the 70-degree mark. So a great day just to go outside and just enjoy the fresh air. And then for tonight across the state, it's still going to get chilly because of the radiational cooling. It will be clear, so any heat that is in the surface will just go right back up into space. And you can see that with the temperatures forecast for tonight. Normal will have a low about 44 degrees, and up near Guyman, make it down to 42 degrees. So for today, it's going to be sunny and warmer than yesterday, up to 72 degrees today, and the winds will still be out of the north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And then for tonight, temperatures are going to be cooling off to about 45 degrees. It'll still be chilly because it's going to be clear, and the winds will still be out of the north at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for your next 5 days, you'll be seeing a warm-up. For Thursday, quite a bit warmer than it will be today, up to 77 degrees, nice and sunny. For Friday, could get up to 80 degrees with that continuing sunshine, although you may see a little bit more in the way of clouds. For your Saturday, up to 83, nice and warm. Same thing for Sunday, up to 84 degrees. And Monday, maybe a little bit cooler, 78 degrees, but all 3 days, though, you may get a slight chance of some thunderstorms. But other than thunderstorms, though, temperature's going to be really nice in the 80s, so it sounds great.
It looks great. So not a big chance of rain?
Not a big chance. It's hard to tell right now because it's still kind of early, but you can't rule it out, though, thunderstorms this time of year.
Okay.
I noticed it wasn't as windy today. That's a good thing.
Yeah, because the high pressure's definitely getting closer, so that's nice. Feels great.
Okay. Thanks, Dave.
Sure.
And coming up next on Norman Today Sports,
the number 1 and 2 ranked teams in boys and girls soccer were in action last night. Terry Jones has the details next.
Stay with us.
This is who I am.
I am rich. I am poor. I am middle class. I am a boy.
I am a girl.
I am a girl. This is who I am.
This is who I am.
I am from the city.
I am from the country.
This is who I am. I am. I know exactly what I want to do.
I know exactly who I want to be. I have no idea. No idea.
No idea what I want to do.
I have no idea
who I want to be. This is who I am.
No matter who you are or where you're from, the United States Air Force may be the place for you to learn, to grow, and to be successful in life. We can help you. You can help us.
I have potential.
I have potential. My future is unlimited.
I am somebody. I am somebody.
I am somebody.
How do you stop child abuse? Simple. Never let it start.
Now there's a program that can help do just that. It's reaching new parents early on, teaching them how to cope with the stresses that lead to abuse. It's achieving unprecedented results. But we need your help. Imagine if we all pulled together what we could have. Call 1-800-CHILDREN today, because the more you help, the less they hurt.
I see her! This is not a drill. Roger, have target in sight. This is what we do. Swimmer away. Every day in the Coast Guard. Battling the elements to save lives is just one of the real missions we tackle.
Swimmer checking victim. Coming up.
Be part of the action in the Coast Guard. Call now, toll free.
Now Terry Jones joins us with sports. So OU's baseball is trying to recover from a bad weekend.
Yeah, they didn't really have the success they wanted up in Nebraska where they got swept. Head coach Lako Shell said they really missed out on an opportunity to gain some ground and move up in the rankings. The University of Oklahoma baseball team is trying to improve its standing in the Big 12 Conference. The Sooners are in 6th place, which would barely qualify them for the Big 12 tournament in May. OU had a chance to move up yesterday when Missouri came to town for a doubleheader. In the first game, Missouri led 7-0 until OU scored in the last 4 innings to capture a 9-7 victory. Meanwhile, in the second game, Ryan Fry gave Mizzou a lead on a grand slam, and it wouldn't relinquish the lead as the Tigers win it 14-6. The teams conclude their series today at 3 o'clock. And the news isn't good on the high school diamond either. Both Norman high schools were in action against a couple of Edmond schools. In the Battle of the Wolves, Edmond Santa Fe beat Norman North 11-2. Meanwhile, Norman lost a doubleheader to Edmond Memorial. The Bulldogs outscored the Tigers 21-3 in the 2 games, winning 14-2 and 7-3. High school soccer, same song, but a different verse. Every Norman high school team came out a winner last night. The Norman North Timberwolves went to Choctaw and buzzed the Yellow Jackets. The boys got 3 goals from state scoring leader Patrick Tanner. T-Wolves win it 5-1. And the girls got a hat trick from another state scoring leader, Jennifer Prigmore. The Lady Timberwolves win it 7-2. We'll hear more about Prigmore in just a minute. In Dell City, the Norman Tigers boys mercy ruled the hapless Eagles 10-0. And the Fighting Eagles girls team didn't feel like fighting, I guess. They forfeited to the Lady Tigers. The Norman North girls soccer team is ranked number 2 in the state of Oklahoma. In the second part of a 3-part series, I look at one of the state's top players. The Norman High School North girls soccer team enters the last 2 games of the season with an 11-1 record. One of the reasons the Lady Timberwolves have been so successful this year is the play of Jennifer Prigmore. The junior forward not only leads the city of Norman, but the entire state of Oklahoma with 30 goals, which is a little surprising to her.
I mean, I was expecting that many, but I mean, do what I can to score. It's actually come pretty easy. It hasn't been like real tough as I thought.
How have you been pleased with the way you've been playing?
Yeah, very pleased, I guess. I mean, what else could I ask for?
The most goals scored in one season in the city of Norman is 36, set just a few years ago. Coach Coleman thinks that Jennifer has an outside chance to set a new record.
But if things go like it normally does, and she gets her several goals per game against these weak teams, then she very much has a shot, especially if she goes nuts and gets a really big total in one of the games.
Prigmore says her soccer style has been influenced by Coleman, who has coached her since she was 12 years old.
Well, I guess I've kind of can say that I've grown up with him with soccer. Like, he's taught me at all levels of play, and then, I mean, he means a lot. He's taught me, I guess, kind of pretty much built my character of playing, I guess you could say.
So I've had kind of a special link with her ever since she moved here, and because of that, I feel very close, and I feel like I can tell her everything that's going on the team. I can be real honest with her. She can be real honest with me. Not something that a lot of players are not really comfortable doing sometimes.
Prigmore still has 1 year left to impress college recruiters, but she knows where she would like to be in 2 years.
I want to go play soccer at Santa Clara. That's where I'm hoping. I'm going to a soccer camp for 2 weeks this summer up there. So I'll see if I like it and see if I want to go that far away from home and see.
You can see Jennifer in action on Friday. Terry Jones, Norman Today Sports. Coming up tomorrow in the final part of the series, I'll look at one of the young talents on the North boys team, Patrick Tanner. And if you haven't had a chance to go out and see some Norman North soccer, she is a really special player. She is so dominant. Her and Ann Ramey, we probably have the two best girls soccer players in the state right here in Norman.
Good deal. Thanks a lot, Terry.
No problem.
Thanks, Terry.
Coming up next on Norman Today.
The John Benet Ramsey murder investigation could start a new phase.
Stay with us.
When the heavens thunder, when the nation calls, you can make a difference and be a part of it all. If you're able to pay the price, you can. Willing to sacrifice, you can. Adventure, helping, service in the Army National Guard, you can.
Find yourself in the Army National Guard, serving 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year, and you'll find an extra paycheck, money for college, and all the adventure you can handle. It's a great way to serve your country and community. Call 1-800-GO-GUARD.
If you're ready to pass the test, you can. An American at your best, you can. Adventure, helping, service in the Army National Guard. In the Army National Guard, you can.
It's only a little motor oil.
What difference is one drop of paint going to make?
This much fertilizer isn't going to pollute anything.
You're looking at a sea of excuses, created drop by people like you and me. Our waters can be saved if each of us does their part. Drop by drop. If we all do a little, we can do a lot. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Defense Council, the EPA, and the Ad Councils of the U.S. and Japan.
My son Daku was riding a motorcycle when he was struck by a car. I had spoken to him previously about donating his organs, and it made it so much easier for me to make the decision. I knew that this is something that he wanted. I didn't have to feel guilty about making the decision, doing something that he may not have wanted. Every day I tell people, talk it over. You must let people know what you want.
Welcome back to Norman Today. I'm Zane Watson.
And I'm Valerie Perrin. President Clinton's vowing to veto an education bill under consideration by the Senate. At a White House ceremony today, he unveiled an alternative proposal, which would involve hiring 100,000 new teachers and paying for school construction. Mr. Clinton criticized the Senate bill, which would provide tax-free education savings accounts for private school, ban national tests, and have competency testing for teachers. He says that is a waste of money. President Clinton is asking to follow his lead on tobacco and is asking Congress to follow his lead on tobacco and education legislation. Clinton renewed his call for the election year Congress to act on bills that would reduce teen smoking as part of a comprehensive tobacco settlement and to put more money into repairing and modernizing public schools. Clinton is also attacking defenders of the Joe Camel cigarette ad, saying the ads were designed to hook our children early to the deadly habit of smoking.
16 months after the murder of John Benet Ramsey, a new grand jury in Boulder, Colorado may soon hear evidence in the case. A district judge will begin seating new jurors who will review a number of criminal cases. They could decide to file charges in the murder of the 6-year-old girl. Investigators consider Ramsey's parents potential suspects. They maintain their innocence. And investigators are still looking for clues as to why a Boeing 727 slammed into Bogota, Colombia's eastern mountain range. The crash killed 53 passengers that were on the passenger jet that was leased to Air France. Pilot Jamie Vasconez failed to make the 90-degree southward turn that was 2,000 feet from the end of the runway. Vasconez acknowledged the communication, but continued eastward for 2 miles, slamming into the fog-covered mountain. Investigators have ruled out that weather conditions caused the accident. And coming up in our final segment of Norman Today,
access to the internet just keeps getting easier and easier.
Stay with us.
hands need hands to help you see what lies ahead, what you want to be. Hands need hands, a hand to reach.
Kids today need extra help to stay in school. Communities and Schools brings hands in need together with hands that can help.
Get ready!
Adventure training in the Army National Guard. When we move fast. When we train hard. If you're up to the challenge, we'll make it worth your while. Call 1-800-GO-GUARD.
To stay on the profitable edge of technology, some businesses are finding they must meet their clients right where they are.
That means on the road for business traveler. On-site computer connections at hotels and airports are meeting a need and gaining in popularity.
The battle lines are being drawn to see who will reign in the new high-tech world of public information access booths.
If you're not familiar with these cyber kiosks, now you will be soon. Online computers found in airports and hotels let you send and receive electronic information when you're away from the office.
Companies like CyberFlyer have a sit-down model, Atcom, and CyberOasis, a combination style, and an in-phone, a stand-up version in hotel lobbies.
All offer instant access to major internet service providers and corporate email services. In addition to the emailing feature, CyberFlyer creates a customer profile and provides a calendar of events in your destination city, including traffic and weather.
CyberOasis is also a remote office. Use software applications such as Microsoft Office, pop in a computer disk to update a file, and then print it out for a fee.
Atcom is currently ahead of the competition, with more people signing on at their terminals daily. Atcom also offers pay telephones to hook up to your conventional laptop.
Interesting.
What will they think of next?
I don't know. Terry?
And if you're in Norman today, the OU baseball team is in action at 3 o'clock at Eldo Mitchell Park. And then tonight, a big game at the new softball complex. OU, OSU, it'll be a huge game, 6:30. Get there early because the place will be packed. And Dave, I hope the weather will be good for it.
Yeah, the weather's looking nice the next several days. Temperatures will be on the rise. Those temperatures, 77 for Thursday, Friday, maybe up to 80 degrees.